Mr. Man and Little Miss Treasury. I have tons of stories to tell you. Come and see. There we are. And tonight's story is Mr. Bump Loses His Memory. Mr. Bump is the sort of person who is always having accidents. Small accidents, medium-sized accidents, big accidents. Lots and lots of accidents. One day, Mr. Bump got out of bed, or rather he fell out of bed, as he did every morning. He drew back the curtains and opened the window. It was a beautiful day, and he leant on the window sill and breathed in deeply and fell out of the window. Bump! Mr. Bump sat up and rubbed his head, and as he rubbed, it dawned on him that he had no idea where he was. He had no idea whose garden he was sitting in. He had no idea whose house he was sitting in front of, and he had no idea who he was. Mr. Bump had lost his memory. Mr. Bump walked up to his garden gate and looked down the lane. Mr. Muddle was passing by. "Good afternoon," said Mr. Muddle. As you and I know, it was morning, but Mr. Muddle, not surprisingly, always gets things in a muddle. "I seem to have lost my memory," said Mr. Bump. "Do you know what my name is?" "You're Mr. Careful," said Mr. Muddle. "Thank you," said Mr. Bump. Mr. Bump went into town. The first person he met was Mrs. Packet the grocer, carrying an armful of groceries. "Hello," said Mr. Bump. "I'm Mr. Careful. Can I help?" "Just a person. I need someone careful to deliver these eggs." Mr. Bump took the eggs from Mrs. Packet and set off down the high street. And because he was Mr. Bump, he slipped and fell on the eggs, breaking all of them. "Oh, you're not all that careful, are you?" said Mrs. Packet. "Sorry," said Mr. Bump. He walked on past the dairy. Mr. Pottle, the manager, came out. "I'm looking for someone to drive the milk float," he said. "What's your name?" "Mr. Careful," replied Mr. Bump. "Perfect," said Mr. Pottle. "I need someone careful to do the milk round." Mr. Bump set off down the road. As he rounded the corner, he hit the curb, and the milk float turned over, smashing all the milk bottles. "Well, that wasn't very carefully done, was it?" said Mr. Bottle. "Sorry," said Mr. Bump. Then he met Mr. Brush, the painter, who was up a ladder painting. "Hello," said Mr. Bump. "I'm Mr. Careful. Do you need a hand?" "Yes, please," replied Mr. Brush. "I need someone careful to pass up that paint pot." Mr. Bump began to climb a ladder, and being Mr. Bump, he fell off and the pot of paint landed on his head. Mr. Bump went for a walk. "I don't understand it," he said to himself. "My name is Mr. Careful, but I can't do anything carefully." It was then that he walked into a tree. Bump! And bumped his head. An apple fell out of the tree and into his hand. "That's odd," he said to himself. "How did I get here? The last thing I remember was opening my bedroom window. And where did all this paint come from?" You know, don't you? Just at that moment, Farmer Fields turned up. "Careful!" he called. "That sounds familiar," said Mr. Bump, and fell down the bank into the river. And that's the end of the story. For today, guys, I am not going to do the spot books because I'm taking a break for this week. So yeah, Smash the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell for more. Anyways, see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.